Good morning. We had some technical issues this morning and we are going live. Yay. And I hope you got the link in time. If you did not, you can watch the replay. Hi, I'm Jennifer DeLoach, and today we're going to be talking about understanding the struggle within, the unseen struggle within. And are you ready for a happier and healthier you? We are discussing this is a day 4, and we've been discussing in the previous videos, soul health is paramount to your physical health. It makes a difference. I mean, what goes on in your soul, it be what happens in your body, right? And even in your life, it's displayed into your life. That we talked about how the soul is the mind, the will, and the emotions. And we also talked about the soul gates, what they are, and eye gates, ear gates, and mouth gates. This eyes and ears are entrances, and the mouth gate is an exit. But when it comes out, it goes back in and into the heart. We had talked about that on the previous videos. We all talked about the most important thing is to guard your soul. It is really high priority. Guarding your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. This is high priority with all kinds of flags. It's like, listen, this is it. And discover the hidden treasure in our mind. And we found out what that was. That's our attention. It's a precious treasure. And so what we are to do is realize its valuableness. And that's why there's a battlefield in the mind, because everything's after it. They know, everything knows. We got to have your attention before you buy products. We got to have your attention before you come this way. You know, everything needs our attention. It is truly the currency of life. What you pay attention to, you purchase it into your life. So choose wisely. And that's what we talked about in the previous videos. Now, as we learn these things, we have the opportunity to take action on them. Take action on what we've been learning. We can't just listen and listen and listen. And, oh, that's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah, that's true. But is it true for me? Well, you won't know until you start taking action on it. And so this take action is actually how you pivot in your life to go a different direction and leave your past behind. Leave your past behind. Yes, we can learn lessons from the past, but we cannot be stuck in the emotions of the past. That is the thing we leave behind. So the analogy that I want to give to you, let me straighten my chair up here. The analogy that I want to give to you is that going down river in life is like going with the flow. You know, that it's just, going in with the flow. And so now when you realize and you hear, you see and you hear someone telling you of a better way, but you have to turn your canoe around, so to speak, and go forward. So going down river, you got to turn your around and go forward, right? I wanted to get the direction right on the video. So you have a desire to go upriver, but understand there's some effort, there's some take action on your part, because if you quit paddling going upriver, your canoe is going to automatically turn around and go downriver. So if you want to keep going upriver to where there is an amazing life for you, you will learn how to paddle. And you don't have to be like, going at it like this. You can, but it's like it can go little, just taking action, even in the small things, will keep you going upriver, right? Because while you do in one area of life, it will become a pattern in the rest of your life. Because what you give attention to, it purchases it into your life. So once you start giving attention to going upriver, so to speak, going on that runway to a higher and better life, there's take action on your part. Like I was. Let me share with you. I had to change my mindset because I was depressed. Remember when I shared that on video 1? I didn't know I was going to share all that, but I did. And I was so down and out and depressed that I didn't want to live. Well, once I realized, hey, this is not life. And I started taking responsibility of my own life and going forward. right? And every year it kept growing and growing and growing. So there was a progress. So the law of progression here, it takes place, but it doesn't take place if you don't take that first step. If you don't take that paddle and start going upriver, how will you get there? See, so it's take action on your part. And the first step, once you hear what you did, the truth, and it starts building up hope on the inside of you, this hope starts growing, and it becomes a joyful expectation, right? And so you're paddling, okay? And let me use this as a canoe. So, let's go back. You was going down river, and you're hearing the news, that you need to go upriver. So this is in the capsize position. So if you stop pedaling, you're going to go back down the river. Okay. So now, as you realize, okay, I'm not giving up. I'm going forward. I'm going forward. I'm going forward. I'm going forward. And you have to keep on, because when you get tired and get weary and all of that, it's going to do this again. Right. But this is not to discourage you, because listen to this. Whenever you keep, you'll start getting strength. You become stronger and stronger, and you can continue on going forward. And remember that there's things that we're going to talk about today, that whenever you're being challenged, what do you do in those moments? You just put, like I just did, I just put the headphones back on. It came off. So whenever there's a struggle, we're challenging. What is it? What is our first thoughts? What are our first words? They truly matter, because what you think about, you're giving attention to. Is that what you want? When what you're talking about, you're giving attention to that, and you're feeding bigness into that. Is that what you want? If it's not, then choose your words wisely and say, you know what, that situation, I will not get upset about that situation. That's an unacceptable emotion. I'm going to look at it, and I can see the problem and think of what is the solution. And you may not know what the solution is, but that with the technology that we have today, there is a lot of good, there's knowledge out there. If you don't know what to do or how to do it, there's knowledge. So gain that knowledge and go forward. Excuse me. And so what is your first action? And do you react when you're challenged to give up, when you're challenged to not even try again, when you're challenged because you're having so much pain, when you're challenged because the relationship that you're in may not be what you wanted? Are you challenged because you're having health issues? Are you challenged because at work it's not fun anymore? It's not where you want to be, and you know there's more? I mean, what is it that you're challenged with right now? Are you challenged to even live out your dream and your vision? What is your challenge? And it matters what your thoughts are, because you can lead yourself to success in all of these areas, to the solutions, to the success, to the joy, to the peace, to living out your lives the way that you know you should be living. And so your first thought, your first action, did you react or did you respond? If you responded, you're standing in your authority, right? You're standing in your authority, and you're going forward. You're not letting something else cause you to sit down on the sidelines of life and just watch life pass you by. That's just not the way it goes. One moment. Boy, water is so good. So the first words you speak out, your mouth, have amazing power in that moment. Why? Because your words have vibrational power. We're going to talk about that really to go in that deeper tomorrow. Okay. But your words, you've been given the power of the tongue, and there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and you can have what you say. Okay. You can have these things, but come oneness with it, with spirit, soul, and body. Come oneness with that and see that happening in your life. So when those first words you speak out your mouth, you release some power, either for good and go forward, or for bad and nuts and sitting on the sidelines. And so you have a choice to make there. And another thing is to understand, what emotion are you releasing at that moment? Now, in our pivoting, that like this right here, going down, and in our pivoting to go forward in, in life, in that pivoting moment is there. It can be capsized, but you keep paddling, or either you'll be going back down river. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let let me find that. Okay. I wanted to give you this. When you have frustration of expectancy, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. What should you do? Do you seeing this bit, you frustrated this expectation going down, and it's just over and over and over. And so if you allow that to be loud to you, if you're giving your attention to that, it draws for more frustrated expectations to come. And what happens, it's your disappointment. It will cause disappointed, that repeated over and over and over again. But if at the first frustrated expectation, or it can be at the 15th, and you're deciding, okay, I'm turning this around and I'm going to paddle, I'm going to say speak what's right. And it's not just going through all the motions. It's a heart issue. It's a heart issue. And so, but I want to share this with you. This is by Matt Cameron on The Force of Disappointment. Again, Matt Cameron, The Force of Disappointment. It's on YouTube. Okay. I encourage you to watch it because it's really good. I've watched the first video. I will be watching the rest of them. It is a series. So he says, frustration of expectancy causes repeated disappointments. Repeated disappointments becomes negative expectation to where, and so then what you're expecting, remember, if you give your attention to something, you're paying attention, you're going to purchase that in your life. And if your expectations are negative, then your attention is there and you purchase more negative expectation to come your way, right? Okay, so he says, frustration of expectancy becomes repeated disappointment, becomes negative expectation, which produces discouragement, which is weariness in the soul. And so we don't want to go there. And if you're there right now, I'm glad you're here. You're at the right place to come up and out of that. And also listen to these videos more than once, because you'll be amazed how you didn't hear that what you heard the second time, the first time. Every time you'll hear something different. So what emotions are you releasing? If we let our emotions rule, then we react. And that's not what we want to do. We want to respond. And so what is it? How can we be responding? It's like being in boot camp. It's like having training. You train yourself, even in the small things. Okay, you drop a glass of water and the glass breaks into 1,000 pieces. Keep your joy. I'm serious. Keep your joy. Don't let that frustrate you. Learn to train yourself not to be moved by that broken glass. And you clean that up with joy and put it in the trash can. And what I do there, I get paper towel, wet paper towel, make sure I get all of the little pieces, just a little tip there for housekeeping, and put it all in the trash. Don't let a broken glass keep you going forward in your training yourself to keep your joy. Okay. And it could be big things that's going on, like you may be believing for something and you're trying really hard to get it going, and it doesn't look like it's working with all of, especially with the economy and things like that going on. There can be some excuses. That's a good excuse, you may say. The economy's bad. That's a good justification to even not try. No, it's not. And no, it's not. Just no to both of those. It's unacceptable. The economy may be going a direction we don't want it to go in, but we can not go with the flow, right? We pivot, keeping our joy, gaining knowledge, taking action, and go upriver and not get stuck in the flow. Go upriver. Go upriver. Okay? So this is not to bring any guilt or shame to any of us as, oh, I've been doing it wrong. Okay. Well, who hasn't? Who hasn't? Make a choice to go forward and go. And if when you miss it, forgive yourself and get back up. That's the most natural thing that we do. That when we fall and we get discouraged or whatever, don't sit there on the sidelines. Coach yourself to go forward. Cheerlead yourself. Lead yourself to go forward and keep your joy with everything that's within you. You're going to be amazed that as you keep your joy, when you hear some news, you're like, it's like you're unhooked from that emotion now. It's like you're unhooked from that reacting, and you respond instead. That's the training process. That's the law of progression. And it starts with the little things. And if you're in a big situation, it can start there too. It's giving your attention and putting your attention to the right place. To the right place. Eye gates, ear gates, mouth gate. Giving your attention. Protect your soul gates. Though those hard moments are there, you've seen the little whatnot, right? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. In other words, don't allow your attention to go there. You just that's unacceptable. Now, if you have to deal with some things, I'm not saying neglect it. I'm not saying that at all. There's some to take action to do there, but don't be moved off of protecting your soul, keeping your joy, staying with life, love, and truth. Stay there, okay? And so you put your eyes in the truth. The truth is that I can still go forward. My emotions my flesh may say, what's the use? I can talk to my flesh and say, oh, there is, and you go forward anyway, right? This is, it helps you, and I'm looking at my notes here because this is so important. Instead of feeling like you're wrong and shamed and all of that, this is to reveal the dangers of being led by your emotions. Okay. If you're led by your emotions, how can you be aware of what your responsibility is? How can you be aware when opportunities come your way? If you're led by your emotions, you miss out. Because why? Because you're looking in the wrong direction and the opportunities over here. You got to keep your attention where it belongs so you can walk in that, right? So, as I said, none of us are perfect, but we are responsible. We're responsible, and we have opportunity to change our lives around. Love yourself enough to say, get up. Say, like for myself, Jennifer, get up from that. Like today, this is a good analogy that happened today. I'm so glad it happened in reality, because it helped me to see where I was, and that's it. When you see where you are, it's not to judge yourself, but it's to say, okay, this is a hard moment. It's a teachable moment. We had technical issues, and it was a totally different link. I sent them to all, different texts. I put it on Facebook and several times, and letting them know what to. And then it didn't go. It just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. It wouldn't go live. But we train ourselves that though that's happening, we can keep our joy. We can keep our joy because it helps us to have clarity. It helps us to be able to solve problems. It helps us to be able to think of a solution. And so I just started with a new link and sent that and put it on Facebook. I didn't have time to do it on the text, but the replays are available. All right. So when those hard moments present themselves, stay in your God-given authority. Not what you may have in the past, you may have allowed your emotions to be the authority or your feelings to be the authority. That's not the authority. God's given you authority to take dominion. And that means even in your life. And so take dominion and say this, I'm going forward and I'm going to listen to things that's helping me, not so much as entertaining. Not saying you can't be entertained. There's moments, that could, but even then you got to guard your eyes and ears and mouth because you want to receive the right information. But learn. Because if you're stuck in entertainment like I was, oh my, if I could tell you that I was stuck in John Wayne movies. We would watch the same one several times. In the years, we probably watched them all 10 times. And it was amazing. And how we were like stuck in that. And I realized, I was saying, you know what? I don't even want, I'm not into that anymore. And so I turned and started going toward learning things, getting knowledge and getting wisdom. And I just had this thought, so I want to share it with you. Proverbs lists it tells you things it tells you about the wise man and the foolish man. And you can make a list of all the foolish things and make a list of all the wise things that it lists on there and see which category you're in. Don't let it discourage you. You can say, wow, I didn't realize that I was doing that. And it's foolish. It's foolish. And then you can start pivoting and start turning that around in your life and go toward the wise, right? So that's a tip for you. Now, so whenever we have those hard moments, like today, it was a hard moment, so to speak. I mean, really, let me put it this way. Whenever there's hard moments, as you take those hard moments and you allow it to become, and you redeem it and allow it to become a teachable moment, not something that you hate, regret, and have grief over, but it's something that you can learn from and allow it to be a teachable moment. And here's the thing, that if you allow it to be a teachable moment, it will cause you to go up. That's part of the pivoting your life around to go a different way. If you see your emotions rising, be alert, be aware. Let that kind of be, I don't have a flag here. Let that be the red flag, the alert, boom, 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 to be aware and look to see why those emotions just went down. I mean, what's going on there? And so be aware of patterns that's in your life, because as you learn what your patterns are, you're able to learn and use that as, okay, I'm choosing to go forward and stop having that pattern in my life. And you can unhook from that pattern, unhook from those soul ties and go forward. Okay, and let me just read this. It says, okay, it's like, okay, I see a pattern in my life. And it could be unforgiveness. I choose now to forgive. And I can do this when it's challenging to give up. I choose to live and not die. I choose to take control of my emotions right now. My joy is your strength. And so you get to set and reset that thermometer for your emotions, that you will keep your joy and you keep it set there. Keep your joy. And if you're, and it may not be a joyful situation, but what I'm talking about is that keeping your joy because it's your strength. It may not be a happy situation, but you can turn things around. It's amazing what can take place in those moments. They can become teachable moments. You have the opportunity to change those patterns. And it starts with changing your thoughts. Change your thought, the way you think, and you change your life. And it's not automatic. It's something you take action on, because like when I started realizing what was going on, I said, okay, if I give my attention to depressive thoughts, that's going to cause me to be depressed. If I pay attention to the thoughts that come like, oh, what's that symptom all about? I'm not saying you can't go and find out what's going on, but don't let it consume your thoughts. Don't let it take you down a road that it may not even be. get some knowledge, get some information, and then do what is necessary about that, right? So, you have that opportunity, and you must take action on it. It's not automatic, because if you don't take action on it, you're going to go down river, and then you get to realize, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, and you go back up again. So understand, every moment is a turnaroundable moment. You might have missed it in the moment before right now, and now this moment you go forward. Okay. And it might be you're doing this, but you go forward, right? Now see, this is really good, what we're about to go into. You can use your attention, as we've already demonstrated, to change your life. Because remember, we talked about it, your attention is a currency of life. You get to, and some call it the law of attraction. I like to call it, it's the currency of life. And what I pay attention to, I purchase it into my life. So you're taking control of your attention. You're taking control of your soul. And you give attention to love, life, truth, wisdom. You gain knowledge, gain understanding, get wisdom, and walk in that. And you're able to go forward. And remember, you reap what you sow, right? It's a principle God has set into our universe, and that it works for any and everybody. Nobody is exempt from that law. So whatever you sow, you will reap. Whatever you pay attention to, you will purchase it into your life. If you're not liking what you've got in your life right now, be encouraged to start pivoting that around, to go forward, and so you can enjoy your life. And it may not be an overnight thing. Most times it's not. But your decision is just like that, and it will take you there. Stay with that decision. Don't get off of it. Stay with that attention on that choice, and go forward. Remember that, like, again, what you talk about, what you look at and give attention to, you're purchasing that to your life. In other words, it's like a boomerang. You say those words, it's going to come back to you, and you can't run away from it. So the thing is, you can overcome evil with good, though. You can overcome evil with good, the Bible says. So if you've been evil, evil can be evil, but it also can have, in there, just doing it the wrong way. Okay, missing it. So you can overcome those mistakes. You can overcome doing it wrong by doing good, by making the right choice. You may not know what the right choice is, so gain some understanding and get knowledge. Stay with love, life, and truth. Okay? So guard your heart and put energy into it. Guard your heart. Understand, you got to protect it, set guard over your eye gates, your ear gates, your mouth gate. Ask the Holy Spirit to help you, and He will help you and help lead you. And He is your guide in life. When you need help, what is the answer to this? Go to the Holy Spirit. He will help you. So guard your heart, put energy and strength into it, and see the difference that it can make in your life and in your situations, circumstances, and in the lives of your loved ones. And the things that we do, it actually goes down to the fourth generation. So do you see the responsibility of us getting it together, but just not trying to do it on our own lone self? We are to gain knowledge, get wisdom, get understanding, and take action on it and go forward. And the key here is consistency. Consistency is where the power lies. When you are consistent in something, you will see an amazing difference. And this will pivot your life to a whole new direction, right? It puts you actually on the runway to a happier and healthier life. Amen. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the vibrational powers of words, but click the like button and hit the subscribe button so you'll know when videos are there. By clicking that alarm button, the little bell, and it will notify you of when videos are uploaded. And so share this with someone. It could change their life. It could actually save their life. And remember, keep your attention on things that is life, love, and truth. And remember, truth can change facts. Stay with the truth. And the Holy Spirit is there to help you. So ask him. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time. And we're going to talk about the amazing vibrations that we let out. Talk to you. Bye-bye. I've enjoyed this. Talk to you later.